Welcome to this edition, the latest edition of this version of the Beacon of Light podcast, which is meeting the staff at Beacon. And this is Michelle. Wow, you combed your hair and everything.
I know.
Good for you. So, most of the staff at Beacon Recovery, or a large percentage of the staff at Beacon Recovery, is in recovery.
Mm-hmm.
You would be no different, right?
Right. I'm definitely in recovery.
So, I know you're not supposed to do this, but for the purposes of this podcast, I need to ask how old you are.
I'm 56.
56. Okay, the reason I ask is because what I want you to do is I want you to go back in time, right, to your first recollection of your introduction to whatever it was that started you on your path of being addicted, or whatever you ended up being addicted to. So you graduated to whatever it is that you were addicted to that took you to a place where you said, I can't do this anymore, but it started way back then. How old were you?
13.
I'm getting this age group. It's 12, 13, 14. Mm-hmm. And what was the substance?
Marijuana,
okay.
Initially, with my older brother.
And I'm getting that a lot. I'm getting that it's marijuana and or alcohol with an older either sibling or relative, cousin. It's always...
It moved quickly to alcohol. I mean, I was an 80s teenager. So when I was 12, it was 82. And there was a lot of keg parties going on. And I was actually raised in the same house in San Bernardino with the same kids. I mean, I went to school with them all. So we all hung out and we started experimenting together.
So what'd you say, 13?
13, I mean, like...
Ish?
Yeah.
Marijuana?
Briefly just marijuana, and then quickly alcohol. So
when you say quickly, we're talking weeks, months?
13, by 14, I was drinking pretty regularly.
Drinking?
Alcohol.
Not beer? Or whatever you can get.
Whatever, yeah. By 14, so I started...
Let's go to the first, because I think alcohol is worse than marijuana.
It sure was.
That's my personal opinion.
As a teenager, it was.
I'm glad that Trump took it from Schedule 1 to Schedule 3, I believe. Because before Trump, I don't know if you know this or not, but marijuana was listed at the same level of potency and destructive nature as heroin.
No.
He just took it from that to something a lot less destructive. Level 1, I believe, to level 3. Mm-hmm. Which is nonsense. And I believe alcohol is just as destructive
more
as heroin and the blues. That's just my opinion. Because it's so much easier to get. It's not against the law.
And it's socially acceptable.
And it's so evil. Okay, so you briefly go from marijuana off into alcohol, and you're drinking whatever you can get.
Yeah, we're stealing from our, like alcohol from our parents. We're planning, me and my group of kids that I grew up with, all, at the same time decided, and so it was marijuana with alcohol. And like if your parent went out of town, we'd have a party at your house. If my dad didn't get home until 6 o'clock at night, we'd drink and party at my house until before he got home, So it was fun. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, that I wouldn't have continued. It was fun. It was just experimental, right? And then at like 14, 15, then you're introduced to more
potent?
No, sexual misconduct. I don't know what you call it, but so then you mix those, right? So we're
You're talking
teenagers.
promiscuity.
Yes, promiscuity. So we're teenagers. We're drinking. We're experimenting. At 14, I experimented for the first time, and back then it was crank. It wasn't.
I remember crank. Yeah.
So crank. So we were getting introduced to that. Getting introduced to LSD. Not so much shrooms. It was more LSD
Blotters?
at the time.
The blotters?
Yeah, the little, and
Piece of paper that don't taste like anything, but do all kinds of.
Right. So
in there. Yeah.
by 15, I had already done meth, a little bit of coke. I was drinking very regularly. I mean, my grades went down, my attendance at school went down. I was very promiscuous, and all I wanted to do was party. And it was high hair band, so it was rock and roll and partying, and boy, were we doing it.
I made I just had this little bit of a joke, sort of, where a woman really shouldn't be drinking alcohol when she's pregnant, when in fact alcohol was the reason she probably got pregnant.
Yes, by the grace of God, I didn't.
Because we do things when we're under the influence of alcohol that we wouldn't normally do.
With people we wouldn't normally do them with.
Our inhibitions are out the window, we lose our, which is what you experienced.
And as a teenager, you want to be accepted. You want people to like you. You're being introduced to new groups of people, right? And we went from junior high to high school, and things elevated. It got worse, and like I said, I wasn't going to school. I was making a lot of bad decisions. At that time, there wasn't any consequences, I mean, it wasn't like now if I were to drink or use, right? But at the time, it was just still fun. It was a party. It was still just a party.
Because you weren't hurting anybody.
No, and we were just partying. And then, we'd all make it home somehow, and our parents would, not know how bad things were. Like, my dad didn't know how bad things had gotten until the school was calling every week, like, Michelle wasn't here. Michelle wasn't here all week. And then, and then he's like, well, where have you been? And he had to work.
You were going to school every morning and coming home in the afternoon.
Yeah, and my dad was a single father raising two teenagers, me and my brother, who was like 18 months older, right? So, and he was doing the same thing, but with a different crowd of kids. I was with the stoners. I was with the rock and rollers. He was preppy, and he was like jockey, right? So we were doing the same things, but with different crowds of kids. And
I was kind of, because how old are you again?
56.
Yeah, I'm 61. So I was kind of, I'm relating to what you're saying to me. I was a hybrid between the stoners and the jocks. Because I was both, right? It wasn't so much the prep for me, it was the jocks. Although, when we go to our parties, our keg parties, we were all one big happy, all of us.
Yeah.
The preps, the stoners, the jocks. We were all together, right? One big happy family.
Yeah. Well, and for us, like I said, it was a big group of us from the neighborhood. It was the neighborhood kids, right? And it evolved into the backyard parties. At first, it was just us partying in groups of us.
Yeah.
And then it evolved. Then we got introduced to real parties. And then, I mean, as a teenage girl back then, you could just walk down Main and somebody would be like, hey, you want to go to a party? Like it was just...
Because they knew they were going to probably get laid once they get that girl drunk and high.
Well, me and my friends, we sure did party a lot. I mean, I remember probably until I was 16. So yeah, it was a pretty regular thing, and then I left my mom's house, moved up north with my boyfriend, and found out my mom got killed. And I moved back to San Bernardino and moved back with my dad.
Got killed in a drug-related scenario?
She was dating a guy who was very into drugs and got super paranoid. By then, crank moved to crystal. and the drug got stronger, and he was super paranoid. And to be honest, he felt my mom was a threat and put a hit out on her. And so she was shot in the head and left in the cemetery. And she was just a mom.
Well, they took her to the cemetery to do it.
Left her there. And she wasn't like, I don't want to paint the wrong picture, like she was just a mom. She wasn't out there partying and going to party. I mean, like I was, but she wasn't. She was a stay-at-home mom. She took care of it. She made me go to school. She made me get my grades up. She stopped me from being promiscuous and set some values and some core stuff in me that really stuck. I mean, my promiscuity went from anything goes to halted. My drug use did not. My alcohol use did not. But other things got better. Like I started going to school, like I said, and I brought up my grades, and she did what a mom's supposed to do in that sense, right? And she just got caught up with the wrong person, and it trips me out because like all the wrong people I've been caught up with, and nothing like that has ever happened to me, but it did happen to her, and that's a result of being in that.
Well, and if anybody's listening, or anybody that is listening to this thinking that it hasn't caught up with you, it could catch up with you tomorrow.
Oh, absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
I mean, it could happen at any
Worst
moment.
things, I mean, there are death, it was bad, but
there's worse things than death.
yeah, there's a living hell.
I say this, there could be something worse than death. And oftentimes there is.
Yeah.
So you're knee deep in whatever you can get. How old are you when this
I'm
starts?
17 when
and
this
that
happened.
goes from 17 is when your mom dies.
Right, and so then I moved back with my dad, and I found out I'm pregnant. So that's when I had my son. And then I had my daughter. And I did stop drinking and using when I was pregnant. But
And you're still happily married to your son's father, right?
I never married him.
Are you still together?
Married him. No.
I was being facetious.
So that was, that was my...
But you know who the father was, you think?
I know, I do know, yeah.
Oh, okay.
No, he was my first love, right? My high school love.
Okay.
But he was even worse on drugs than I was, right? He was intravenously using it. I didn't know that, but he was.
Yeah.
And so then I had 2 kids. And then once I had the kids, I just started using and drinking again. Using so bad, I caught charges. And that's my...
For what? Distributing?
Sales. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because my parents, well, I didn't say this, but when I came back at 19, my dad died of cirrhosis of the liver. This disease took him out. So both of my parents are gone. I have 2 small children, and my addiction is crazy.
Plus you got to make a living.
Yeah, because I can't work. And I ended up catching charges and having my first rehab, being introduced to rehab in jail.
Where do your kids go when you're in jail?
So the dad's mom and dad took them when I was in jail in treatment.
Your same kids from the same guy.
Mm-hmm.
His mother takes her grandkids.
She did when I was young, so yeah, she did. She took care of them. She brought them to see me in jail, and I got out of the first treatment, and then my probation officer said, "Okay, now you're going to go to another treatment." And my kids were only 2 and 4, but you're going to take your kids, and you're going to learn how to
be a mom.
Be a mom, yeah, because I didn't, and I didn't have a mom anymore. So it was like I took them, and I stayed sober for almost 5 years. After that, I got my GED. I met my first husband, and we started creating a life together. And I was doing good, but he was drinking, and then I started drinking, and then started it all again.
Not just the alcohol, but with whatever.
Well, it was just alcohol, pretty much a lot of alcohol, though. It destroyed that marriage. With that man, I had my youngest son and then my twins. So 3 more children with my first husband. And but we were severe alcoholics.
And how long does this last?
Almost, like about 9 years. About 9 years. And I only stopped when I was pregnant. I only stopped drinking when I was pregnant. Then we weren't really doing anything else. We moved to Utah, bought a house. We were trying to, I mean, I was trying to be normal, but my alcoholism was off the hook.
Yeah.
That marriage dissolved because of drinking. And then I relapsed on meth. Went out for about a year and a half, lost the house that we had bought, lost my car. My kids were, one of them in state's custody, one of them, the small ones with the dad. I was going to lose custody of my children. And so I went to rehab. I put myself in rehab because I didn't want to lose my kids, right? And I couldn't stop. And I caught more charges. So here I am back in the system. And I went to treatment. I did 3 months. I got out, and right before that, I met my second husband. And he got clean with me, and we got God. That's when I was introduced to God for the first time. And we stayed sober for almost 5 years again. And then we started doing drugs. I had some dental work and got some Percocets. Thought it would be okay. So those of you watching, this is how it happens. Your addict just wants that open door. Thought, I've never been a pill popper. I could take some of these. It's not going to affect me. But it triggered my addict. And my addict wanted more. So I went from Percocets to Roxy's to heroin. And then I became a heroin addict. And then I'm drinking and I'm smoking. And my addiction just evolved again, and that marriage destroyed from drugs. That it dissolved from drugs.
So now, at some point in the middle of your heroin / anything you get your hands on addiction, because I don't think it was just heroin, it was anything.
It was everything, yeah.
Yeah, whatever
and
happens
alcohol, again, still alcohol.
Well, that's going to be a common denominator, right? Because usually I'm finding that people, myself included, alcohol is always going to be part of the issue. I don't care. It's because it's a socially acceptable thing, and while you're in the middle of doing that with whatever circles you're in, you're going to walk over and do a bump, maybe a line, or drop some acid, purple microdots. I don't know if you remember those, right? I mean, yeah, putting the purple microdot in my eye.
Oh God, no.
So it would get into our system quicker. I mean, really, and it would
Crazy.
dissolve it. Oh yeah, I'm like, what in the world? So it pretty much, I mean, I never did, for the most part, anything with a needle. I did, in fact, have a little brief stint of, as a medic in the Army, I would inject things, and we were doing colonoscopies and EGDs, right, endoscopies. Mm-hmm. And I'd have to start the IV, and I would inject whatever solution the doctor had ordered into that IV. It would dilute, and they'd be like, and I'm thinking, oh, I want that.
Yeah.
That. Because they were kind of with it, but they kind of weren't. They couldn't feel the tube shoving, 9 foot up their ass, all up in their, you know what I'm saying? Or down their throat. So I would take the needle that I would dilute into their IV, and I would sit it on top of the sharps, knowing that if anybody said something, I'd be like, oh, it didn't fall. And I'd pop it down, and it would go in, and that would be the end of it. That never happened. I would then take that needle back to the barracks and inject it directly into my arm.
Wow. Yeah.
That didn't last very long, because one time I thought I was gonna OD. It was weird. I didn't enjoy it, and I'm like, we're not gonna do that. But I never stopped drinking. I never stopped doing the other drugs.
Yeah. No, I pretty much never stopped drinking until I in 2020. I became homeless after 2017. My second marriage dissolved. Our drug use was bad. Like I said, it was everything. And that marriage dissolved 2017. I became homeless. So my drinking got worse. And then I caught more charges, because when you're homeless, you're doing all these things. And I got caught real bad in the system. And I couldn't seem to stay out of jail. Right? I was going back and forth to jail. And I didn't want to go to jail anymore, so I said, I need treatment. I couldn't stop. That wasn't an option. And I knew that if I didn't stop, I was just going to keep going back to jail. And I end up in prison. Jail, I mean, and I was looking at, like, I had 5 different charges in 5 different counties, right?
All drug related.
Driving and paraphernalia or possession, yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And finally, I put myself in treatment in Salt Lake in 2020. I did a year there. I relapsed because, and I want to say this, like, the treatment wasn't the problem. I didn't have, and this is something that you do that I am so supportive of. I was there, I did the treatment, I got the therapy, but when I was done, I didn't have a support system, right? I didn't have any connections outside of that treatment. And life got heavy, so Michelle got high. I had my relapse. That was my last relapse. It lasted 4 months. And I ended up deciding, okay, you know, I knew I didn't want to keep doing that. I just didn't have enough skills to stop, because when shit got heavy, Michelle got high. And I didn't have the support system. I didn't have the tools. I didn't have enough, you know. I had the treatment, I had the time away, and I had some therapy. Like, I knew what was wrong with me, I just didn't know how to fix it. And I put myself at the Women's Retreat House, and I did the steps, and I found a solution in the steps and in the AA program. It helped me so much so. I became a live-in manager for 19 months. And by the grace of God, I decided this was what I wanted to do. I wanted to help other people. I got into this. Now on April 8th, I'll have 5 years clean and sober without a drink or a drug or a mind-altering substance in me. And I love what I do here. I love what you do here. I'm not going to lie. I've been to a lot of treatments. I didn't even tell you about, like, all the treatments, but I've been to a lot of treatments, right, since that very first one in 94. But this is the first one, working here and seeing what you're doing. And I'm not just hyping you up. I'm telling you the truth of what Beacon's doing. I've never been to a treatment center that is so inclusive, that you have, I mean, it's everything that you can think of it almost. I see what you're doing. I see that you want so much to help these guys, you know, and you push them to get that support. And I'm like, that's going to help them, having that family support.
Well, one of the things, amongst others, that we do here that is completely different than anywhere else that I'm aware of is, if you're going to get treatment at this facility, if you do not get a mentor,
right,
I'm knocking, you can't get in.
Right.
You have to find someone, and that person, whoever it is you pick. So if you go to an outpatient facility, and you can take a dart, throw it on the map, anywhere you go, 95% of an outpatient facility is going to say this to you. And you can do your own research, whoever's listening to this, if you want. You go to that outpatient and you ask them, how often will my loved one, or if it's going to be for me, how often will I be seen by a master's level clinician, meaning a therapist, a counselor, right? They're going to tell you, more oftentimes than not, once every 2 weeks. Or if you get really lucky and find a place, it's going to be once a week.
Yeah, mine was once a week.
Yeah, right?
No.
Do you want to grab him? You want me to bring him? I'll bring him to you.
Okay.
Yeah. Because you guys may have been hearing this little thing, right, crying, and I'm going to let him hang out with Mom, right?
Yeah. There he is. Come on. It's his spirit.
So.
Another blessing is that you let me have him here.
Yeah. At Beacon Recovery, so the actual patient will be seen by a master's level clinician once, if they're lucky, once a week. At this facility, they're seen by that master's level clinician a minimum of 4 times per week, and that's with 2 separate therapists.
Yes.
Then, on top of that, that mentor who's going to be with you when you graduate, that's why they're here. Remember the support you were talking about that you didn't get elsewhere? That person will be seen by a master's level clinician once per week alone. Oftentimes, they will get a second visit with the person that's in treatment. So their mentor is going to be seen more regularly at this facility than the actual patients are seen at
Other places.
other places.
And the family night.
And the family night, and the speaker night. I could go on, but that
And
was,
I do want to say, it's not just that. Like, people don't realize the things that you're doing here. The
Nope.
amino acids,
Nope.
the omegas,
Nope.
the neurofeedback. I mean, like, neurofeedback, are you kidding me? I just started training in that, and I'm just like, wow, that's a game changer.
Well, you get to know the neurofeedback. I started doing that when I wasn't getting reimbursed from the insurance
It's
companies.
crazy. It's crazy. It does so much. And
Yeah.
not just that, the nutritionist. I mean, I've been to inpatient and outpatient. Tony, people don't do what you're doing.
But these things that I'm doing aren't my ideas. I am not smart enough. But I say that.
Right.
Because it's the truth. But I am smart enough to do what I'm told.
Yes.
Right? I'm not perfect. Right? I still do stupid stuff all the time. But I have the grace of God, and I have the atonement of Jesus Christ.
Amen.
That I can draw on every single day. And you guys will be, it is very interesting. Up until, I guess, very recently, Michelle was afraid of me.
You're putting me on blast.
I'm like, right? And I caught wind of the fact that she was afraid of me, and I'm like, what in the world, right? I'm scary. I don't know.
It's my own trauma,
Yeah,
my own
sure.
stuff, I think.
But I think, because I did a little trick on her, remember?
Mm-hmm.
I walked into the group room, and I'm like, hey, can you come with me? I got to talk to you. You even thought you thought you were going to get in trouble.
Yeah. It was
Going
like,
to-
what did I do
I'm
wrong?
going to take her into Maddie's office, and I'm going to make her, and I made you think that long walk that something was wrong.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm
Well, in
like-
my mind, to be quite honest with you, and to be fair, in my mind, my own trauma says I've done something wrong, right? And you can look at me wrong, and the first thing I'm going to think sometimes is, oh, what am I doing? And that's not even
Might
you,
be a
Tony,
human
that's-
yeah, sure.
That's my own stuff, and
Yeah.
I own that.
Yeah. So, Maddie just walked in, and we're at the stage of the podcast. You can just hang out for a minute if you want, Maddie. No, we don't have to edit it out. Go over there and say hi. Come on, get in the. Oh, come over here and say hi.
Come on.
Come on, Maddie. Come over here. Go over there. One way. Just. Yeah. There you go.
Best
say
boss
hi, Maddie.
ever.
Hi.
Maddie, who doesn't want to come on the camera, who is now on the camera. Hold on. Let me see if you're in the shop.
No, I'm
Hold on. I'm gonna make
Purposely.
sure.
Mm.
Oh yeah, you're in.
I love
Okay. So Maddie's the director of operations, and so Maddie started here sweeping the floors, basically. How many years ago?
almost 5.
And now she's running the show.
And she's amazing. She's amazing. If anyone out there wants to work in recovery in an amazing setting with people who love them, people who are supportive, people who are there, I mean, like genuinely there, apply at Beacon. It's my favorite job. I've had a lot of jobs. I'm 56, like we talked about. And this is by far the most rewarding and my favorite job I've ever had. And that's why maybe I got scared a little bit too, because like, I don't want to get fired. I don't want to get in trouble. I don't want to get written up. I love my job.
So this came from one time she was out smoking in eyesight of where the patients smoke break room, and that was a rule. You can't do that. And I said something because it was against the rules back then. That rule's since changed for a different reason we won't get into.
Right.
But
Thank you for that.
that change of the rule. So I came in and I said something to Maddie, right?
Yep.
Who then I must have said something to her, and she thought, "Oh, Tony
Oh,
hates
I
me."
beat you in.
Yeah, she came straight in and was like,
Oh, you
I
did?
messed up.
Oh yeah, like
She'll
yeah.
always tell on herself.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
she's very easy to manage because she'll come in and she's like, I messed up.
I think
Like,
it's.
"What'd you
I
do?"
think it's.
And I will fix whatever it is. I love this job.
You know, it's very interesting because I have to say to you, I've had a lot of jobs. This is my favorite job, right? Because we make a difference.
We do.
And this program actually does work. We don't save everybody. We recently had a celebration of life earlier
Yes,
today, in fact,
yes.
from one of our brothers that lost his life. I don't know. It was from an OD. I know we won't know
Yeah.
for sure.
I'm sure that this disease had some effect, whether it be his heart.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
I believe this disease kills,
It does.
and
But for all of those people, though, Michelle, that lost their current life, they're not dead. They're crossed over, but you know they've graduated from the next to the next phase of their journey. For all of those that have, because we've had a kid that was huffing in the house. He
Oh yeah,
OD'd
I
in the
had
house.
to remove him.
That okay, we've had a few of these.
Yeah.
But for every one of those, I'm going to tell you we've got 30 or 40 or 50 or 60 that are the Caseys of this world.
Yeah,
Okay.
the graduates.
That
I've
are the
seen
Devons of this
so
world.
many people graduate over.
Yeah,
in
that
my
now
community.
have their life back. And so
And they're
that's the
doing
draw
great.
for us.
Yep.
That's the beautiful part about this job because we get to be a part of that. We get to take them, what I say, is out of the darkness,
Yes.
which is that's exactly where they are,
Oh, absolutely.
and introduce them to the light.
And
Right.
and I do want to say, like, even the ones who self-discharge or go back out or end up messing up and leaving, that seed is planted. There is a solution. There's a solution, and they know it.
And they sometimes come back and then complete.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, absolutely.
But it's their choice. But yeah, this is, it's a very taxing job sometimes. There's times when I walk into her office and she's fit to be tied, right?
Yeah. Well, she does a lot. She wears a lot of hats, and she does it with her whole heart, you know? And I aspire. I watch her, and I'm inspired by that. And I'm just like, that's what I want. I want to bring that to
Yeah.
this job, to this table, to this,
You're getting
to
there.
the community.
I mean, you can try to fill those shoes, but
No, I don't want her responsibility. Let's make that clear. I just want, I love her character.
it's a great thing to aspire to be.
Yes, I
Yeah.
love her character. I love her dedication to the clients
Yeah.
and to us as staff.
Yeah.
I mean, that's probably why we didn't really communicate so much before.
What do you mean we? I didn't know we had a problem until I had no idea we had it. I didn't know.
I communicate with her like crazy. But I guess I just.
I didn't know that she was afraid of me. I'm like, boo! Right? I'm like, oh no.
Manny, don't let him fire me.
I'm scary. I'm so scary. Oh man. Yeah. Okay. So now what we're gonna do? We're gonna end this podcast with this. Okay. This is my camera. That is yours.
Oh, hey. I'm just talking to you.
Yeah. Well, you're gonna look into this camera if you can, and you're gonna be talking to this person or these people, someone that is sitting there stuck in their addiction thinking, I can't do this, right? Is there hope for me? Maybe I'm not good enough. I'm worthless. I have to stay
I've
stuck
done
in that
too
addiction.
much damage.
I can't go back. I've lost my kids. There's nothing to live for, right? It's all over. You know, I might as well stay stuck because I've been there. Stay stuck in it. You've been there. I'm here. Clay came and arrested me. I've gone and done it. Might as well stay in this. Okay? You know who Clay is?
Mhm.
Yeah. So, I want you to talk to that person and tell them your perspective of where they are and what is in store for them
Okay.
and why.
Okay. No matter how dark your world is, no matter how hopeless you feel, no matter how far that light looks away from you, there's a solution. There's help. The hardest thing that we could do as an addict is to reach out, right? Because one, we don't think anyone cares, and two, we don't think that we could do it. It's going to take work. It's not easy, but you're worth it. We're worth it, and we're here to help. And you're not going to have to do it alone. Whether you come to Beacon, whether you go to 12-step programs, whether you white knuckle it. I mean, you don't have to white knuckle it. There is a solution. There's help. Whatever you need to do, you can do, whether you believe it or not. The power is in you. The support is around you. Just ask. Go to Detox. Ask them at Detox. Come to Beacon. Call. Get on the website. The number's on the website. Call. Just get some information.
Wait. I'm going to get a plug. What is that website?
Oh, www.beaconrecovery.com.
How do I spell Beacon? Because I don't know.
BEECON.
Oh, yeah, they can read that. So it's beaconrecovery.com.
Beaconrecovery.com.
And on that website, right, they can find a number.
Mhm.
There's a place, I think, on there they can just go in there and they'll contact us.
Yeah.
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 Okay.
Yeah, and the help is out there. Beacon will do it. If you don't feel like outpatient will work for you, then go to inpatient and then call us.
I mean, they can call it. We
thereafter.
can recommend a detox and or residential. We've got a whole list of people we work with, right?
Absolutely.
I'm acting like I don't know these questions when
Just
I set this up.
please.
Yeah.
It'll get better. Your life will change. You can change it. Just don't give up. Don't give up. And as long as you're alive, there's opportunity.
That's it. As long as you're breathing and blinking.
You're never too old. You're never too far gone. If you're looking at prison time, or you just got out of prison, or you've tried 18 rehabs and none of them worked.
You haven't tried Beacon.
You haven't tried Beacon. You haven't tried hard enough, because it works. This recovery works. Just keep trying.
Yep. Okay. Thank you for this edition.